Hey everybody, this is Magma, and we're back with another Burning Souls dev vlog. The last one we did was back in October of last year, so a lot of the time that has been spent since then and now has predominantly been in regards to fine-tuning the game overall. A lot of work has gone into making sure that the game is running a little more optimally, cutting out redundant code, and making sure that things are more consistent and fluid. Trying to make sure to enhance and solidify the gameplay feel so that when you're playing it, it really feels good, everything reacts well, and you get great feedback as you're playing it. Also making sure that the way characters interact with each other and the way that the characters interact with stages in regards to like ground and wall collisions and etc. are also a high focus of tuning that we've been working on. So ultimately all these different things to just kind of maximize the gameplay experience. And then a big reason as to why that's been the focus is also just because animation work has been a little slow. So the thing that's easiest to do, especially with like a day job and working, traveling, is like coding. Super easy to do wherever I go, bring the laptop, do it that way. But there has been enough substantial stuff that's visible that you guys can see, and that's why we're having this video. So the first thing we're going to show off is a little update to the how to play guide that's on the main menu of this vertical slice, this prototype. In the past video, we went over it a little bit, and you just got to see like a couple menus which essentially covered the general inputs that this game recognizes and where it automatically assigns everything, as well as like a basic breakdown of the HUD. So these things are still in here, they haven't really changed. They discuss the HUD, they showcase, here's your point character, here are your other characters, here's how assist functionality is visually displayed. On top of that, what's been added is also stuff to go over basic inputs. Burning Souls has a big influence off of tag fighters, but its biggest is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So this uses a similar layout to that game, where you have light, heavy, assist 1, and assist 2, in the same format that Marvel 2 does it. And then when you use any light attack on hit or block, and press it a second time, it becomes a medium attack on the second press. So light punch on hit or block is a light punch into medium. And then we also talk about the super moves in this game, which are called soul bursts. So this just goes over a very rudimentary breakdown of how those work, how you get access to them, and how they can be used in game. So you can do delayed soul bursts, where you cancel one super into another for spending extra meter. And then there's also united soul bursts, where you press both assist buttons and all of your living teammates on top of your point character will activate a super at the same time. So, as more development of the game goes and more things are built, this little guide will get filled with more of these simple breakdowns of the mechanics of Burning Souls, so that when anybody gets their hands on these demo builds, prototype builds on their own, they'll have the ability to look at it, sit down and go, okay, here's what's going on. Here's a quick overview. I've got a basic idea of what's happening. I can just dive into the game, and you don't have to sit there and be explained the minutia of game mechanics. So all of this is slowly getting updated, and more content's going to get added into it over time, and hopefully that becomes very helpful for people both new to tag fighters, new to this game, new to the genre maybe. And if you're not, this is a great refresher, and you'll see these things, be familiar with them as mechanics in general, and you'll go, oh cool, I can do this, and this in this game. Understood. Very fun. Alright, so now that we've gone over that, let's hop on into the game, load it up, and take a look at some of the other things that have gone on. I mentioned earlier, optimization has been a big thing forward. Making sure that like load times have been cut down was a huge deal. Game Maker recently had some great updates in its lifespan over the past few months. They've done a lot of great patching and fine-tuning, so some of the new ways that texture maps and other things are managed have made it easier to load in assets, and it makes the load time between different rooms and different stages a lot quicker. So we're just going to hop into our training environment, and then now when you select stages, the portraits of all your teammates come in, the game loads super fast, nice and quick. So on our training environment here, it's a nice little amalgam of all the different stages. We can go over some of the new stuff that has been added into the game that players get to see. So the first thing that has been added into the development is hit stun and hit shake visual reactions. So in a lot of fighting games, sometimes it's really important that you're able to, visually see that your hit has impact. So now, heavier hits as they come in will add some degrees of hit stun shake to the opponent when they get hit. So, on top of the screen shaking itself, there are instances where certain moves will also cause the opponent to shake a little bit, and that's a nice, good visual feedback that your hit has landed, how heavy it's supposed to feel, and gives the extra weight to attacks as you're playing. The other thing that has been added also has been counter hit sparks and counter hit visual indicators. So in the event that you land a counter hit in the game, there are two indicators that pop up. The first is a small little twinkling pip and a circle that comes off of the character when they successfully land a counter hit. And then on top of that, you'll notice that underneath where the combo starts showcasing that there is red text that says counter on top of it. So now, players will have visual indicators both on the edges of the screen, if that's where they choose to look, or if they keep their eyes tight on their character or the opponent, they'll have visual indicators to know that, a counter hit has landed. Other things that might get added to that may come in the future as, color gradients or other flashes or other things like that that help indicate counter hit situations, but definitely for now, more visual indicators that let you know what's going on exist. And then with counter hits in this game, they do add a bit of extra damage scaling to them, so you do more damage on a counter hit, and then damage scaling will kick in as it normally would, but starting at that higher damage output level. After all of those things, we've been working on some level of animations as well, even though we have had an overall downtime for doing so. One of which has been chipping away at our 4th, 5th, and 6th characters, Lux, Para, and Hell Pockets. So specifically, we're going to look at some new stuff that's been animated for Para. She's got some new standing normals going in now, so she's got a full standing normal kit. Nice, fun, powerful hits. She hits hard, she's very aggressive. All the types of things you want on a grappling character. And then slowly adding in new animations and new frames for her special moves as well. And right now she's got new animations going in for her command grab dredge whip. So now it's got new startup animation and new follow through animation that's nice and chunky, feels good, snappy, hits hard, has a good feedback. So slowly and surely we're adding in new animations to make all of these moves feel stronger, feel more impactful, and kind of get that excitement and energy out of you, both as the player who's landing them and the fear for the person who's getting hit by them. And then on the next level of visuals, we've also been working on camera stuff. So now, when you perform super moves in this game, when you activate a soul burst, the camera will zoom in and target in on the character activating their super. And then you get this nice, cool, dramatic focus on your character who's activating their soul burst, and then the camera zooms back out to resume combat once super freeze ends. This has been a very fun endeavor to implement because it also has drastic effects, obviously, on cameras and walls and collisions, so a lot of time has been spent in fine-tuning that and making sure that wall effects don't get ruined by zooming in with the camera, that characters don't get lost behind the edges of the screen. So a lot of time has been spent making sure that these zoom mechanics work out really well. But in the end, it works out super great. It's a nice little visual effect, and it's coming along well. Lastly, the only other thing that we've got to show is another mechanic that has been implemented since EVO, which is burst mechanics. So bursting has always been a thought for Burning Souls, and that is the fact that it's not always fun to be put in infinites. There are times and places where it makes sense, or where it's fair, and where it's not. So Burning Souls does have a mechanic for stopping things like that, or if you want to just get somebody off of you, unlike a lot of other fighting games. So in Burning Souls, at any time if you're in the middle of being hit by a combo string, if an attack lands on you and you are in any form of hit stun, you can perform a burst by pressing any combination of a light punch, a light attack and a heavy attack of punch and kick variety. So if you press light punch and heavy kick, or light kick and heavy punch at the same time while you're being put into hit stun, you'll be able to burst out of the attack. It'll send the opponent flying backwards, and you will disrupt their combo and return back to a neutral state. At current, the name of this is called the Soul Disruption, but this is a burst mechanic at the end of the game. So there you go. Blasts them away, gets you that full screen distance, resets the neutral. But yeah, so these are all the things that have been going on in Burning Souls right now in terms of its development. A lot of it has been fine-tuning, but we are now putting more of our focus back into working on a lot of animations now that a lot of the game's mechanics, functionality, and overall design have pretty much been locked in. So expect to see new updates in regards to animations, new attacks, and all that fun stuff. If you are interested in supporting Burning Souls as a project, there are ways that you can do that. Obviously, the most important thing ever is always about visibility. Following us on platforms is great. If you'd like, please follow us over on Twitter. The game is viewable at burning__souls on Twitter. You can also follow me at Maguma Asagi. You'll find my Twitter handle down in the description below. And I post lots of small, minor updates of things that I do myself, and I tend to make sure that, tagging and linking other things as well. And if you want to support the game financially, you can also do that. We have a Ko-fi page, which is Burning Souls Game. You can also find the link in the description below, and you can support the game financially if you would like, either through a one-time supporting payment, or you can subscribe and support us monthly. And all of those proceeds go directly towards making sure that the game's assets are being built up, working on animations, working on stage art, music, etc. So any support is greatly appreciated, and the more support we get in, the sooner we can make sure that this game is available and in more people's hands, whether it's to try it, to play it fully, or otherwise. And as more support comes in, we can plan on opening up some public platforms where people can check out builds of the game as it goes. So any support that comes in only helps get the games in your hands sooner. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this quick vid. I do appreciate it a lot. Gonna be going right back into the grind and looking forward to having more Burning Souls updates. We'll be at EVO, so please come find us, check it out. More information will get posted on both Twitter account, my Twitter account and the Burning Souls account once the event is closer. And if you know me, I go to lots of conventions, both for cosplay and event running purposes. I always keep a copy of the game with, so if you if you find me and you want to check out the latest version of the game and where it's at and what's happening, by all means, hit me up. I'd be more than happy to show it off to some degrees. Obviously can't give away all the fun secrets, but always want to get people's eyes on it, get people's opinions on making sure that it lives up to the hype and it lives up to its potential. So again, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next devlog update.